What's up guys, new book summary for you. This time I read The Vertical Diet by Efferding and Damon McCune. It's an excellent book, highly recommend. You can find it also as an ebook. You can find a lot of information also about the vertical diet from Stan Efferding himself from his YouTube channel. Just search Stan Efferding and he has a lot of free content where you can really find a lot of these key things already from his free YouTube videos. But today just briefly going over some of the things I learned from this book. I'm gonna put this book into practice very soon. It was a pretty quick read. I read it over the weekend pretty much. And so, what is the vertical diet? What can you learn from this book? Let's do a brief summary and review. So I highly recommend. This was not very cheap actually in Amazon, but I think it's worth the money. And even the ebook, if you get just the ebook version, I would recommend it, even though you can find a lot of this free online. So what he talks about first here is actually sleep and prioritizing sleep. I love what he said there in the chapter on sleep and how he started with sleep, because I think also sleep is like the main thing. Like if you don't really get your sleep right first, then none of the exercise and dietary changes are gonna make that much difference. But in the sleep part, he said basically, where is that page? Well, actually the first chapter is on like just getting started and talking about compliance also, which I also believe in 100%, that nothing really works for you if you don't comply. If you have the perfect diet but you don't use it, then it's not the perfect diet. The compliance is the science. When you comply to something and you adhere to it, that's gonna be what creates results, because you need to stick to it for the long term. But yeah, so sleep is also key. He says if you wake up at 4 a.m. to do cardio after getting only 5 hours of sleep, you're stepping over $100 bills to pick up nickels. So that's, I think, it's very well put, because that's how it is. You're literally like not seeing the €100 bills because you're picking up nickels, and that's what you're doing when you're like thinking about, is kale better than spinach or spinach better than kale? But then you sleep 4 hours, or like you're like, should I take creatine before or after my workout? But then you sleep still 5 hours. So majoring in the minors, not a good idea. So you need to get the fundamentals right. Then he talks about macronutrients, micronutrients, and the vertical diet, by the way, where the name really, or what is the idea of the vertical diet? It's basically you have the horizontal diet first. You got to get the basics down, so your micronutrients, and then you're gonna go vertical after that, like with rice and beef and things like that. Here's the page somewhere where he describes these like main foods of the diet. And the whole idea of this diet is actually that you don't need to restrict. Most diets, fad diets and everything, those type of diets, they want you to restrict, like don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat carbs, don't eat blah blah blah, don't eat vegetables, don't eat meat. But this is not restrictive, this is just selective. So there is still better food choices you can make. Like for example, red meat, like he talks about, has much more, it's much more nutrient dense than like turkey or chicken. So you're gonna get more nutrients from it, and it's a better choice. And certain vegetables and everything are better also, because he talks about like gut health and everything. So choosing like those low FODMAP foods and choosing foods that really like you. Like he says, I don't eat the foods I like, I eat the foods that like me. Trying to find a page for you here as we speak. So the horizontal diet part of this is essentially like, where is that page? The problem with like if it fits your macros that most people follow is like, oh, just get your calories right, eat enough protein. Maybe they don't even calculate or like track their fats or carbs, or maybe they do, but if you just feed it into your macros, it might not fit your micros, like he says here. If it fits your macros, it might not fit your micros. And micronutrients, you have a long list of those. You have a long list of different B vitamins or different. There's vitamin B1, vitamin. Actually, I don't think I remember all of them. 1, 2, 3. Then it goes all the way up to 12, and then they have different names also, like niacin, vitamin D3, and so forth. And then you have, of course, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin E, vitamin D. You have calcium, magnesium, potassium, all these different micronutrients, iron, selenium, phosphorus. But he lists just the main ones here, and I don't understand why I don't find that page for you guys now. Where is that? Should be a big image on here. Where is that? Okay, here, finally. So the basis of this diet is the horizontal diet. You want to get these foods right, the basics, which is like to get those micronutrients. His favorite foods are oranges, almonds, eggs, sweet potatoes, carrots, butter, salmon, spinach, bell peppers. I think this picture is yogurt, but some sort of dairy for calcium. Cranberry juice, chicken stock, and salt. So that way you get a lot of those micronutrients, because a lot of people are actually deficient in micronutrients. They don't know that they're not getting enough vitamin D, or they're not getting enough vitamin C, or potassium is a very common one, even among like people who are like really fit. For years I didn't understand the importance of potassium, and even the importance of sodium. A lot of people don't eat enough salt. They don't salt their food enough. They eat way too little sodium to really feel that optimal performance, and sodium even helps with like digestion, and it's really important to eat enough salt. So those are like some of the things that Stan really stresses: the importance of sodium, potassium, red meat, white rice. So this is the vertical part, then is red meat and rice. So why those? Again, I already said like red meat is loaded with iron, B vitamins, zinc, magnesium, creatine, and healthy fats. And yes, there's actually a lot of, especially if you eat grass-fed beef, there's a lot of unsaturated fat in red meat. It's not all saturated fat, and you can even get omega-3s and everything from grass-fed beef. And then white rice, why is that selected? That's because it's really easy to digest. Instead of eating like quinoa and pasta and everything that a lot of people might have digestive issues with, and they might digest also very slowly. That's why rice is good. But know that he has in the horizontal part, he has sweet potatoes and potatoes, which are a good source of carbs too. So he includes those, but then white rice is the one that you kind of like stack on. And that's just like depending on how much carbs you need, how many calories you need. Like someone who is like the Thor, or someone like the Mountain from Game of Thrones, who is in the beginning of the book. In here he's talking about how he uses the vertical diet, and a lot of other people also, like these high level athletes, they use this diet. For him, he needs to eat, like I've watched in his videos, he eats like 500 grams of rice each meal. So that might not happen if he was eating like quinoa for 500 grams every meal. Like it's so I couldn't eat like even 500 grams of quinoa a day. I don't really like quinoa or anything like. Rice is really easy to digest, easy to eat a lot of it, so you can get those carbs up to feel that performance, that muscle growth, recovery, everything. Then after that part, yeah, the digestive part is important. He talks about digestion. So that also comes down to selecting the right kind of foods, because a lot of foods tend to have like the foods that he selects in the vertical diet, they're usually like very gut health friendly. On the other hand, if you're eating a lot of like things like garlic can really actually affect your, like you can get some bloating. Same with like oats and different pastas, and these foods, they can really cause these issues. And yeah, so you want to pay attention to also digestion, because you're not what you eat, you are what you digest. Trying to find that chapter here. And what did he recommend on digestion? It's somewhere here. Also things like even like caffeine can like be, or not caffeine, but like coffee can cause some people gut issues. And can't find that chapter again for you guys. Anyways, digestion super important. Not drinking too much water with your meals because that can affect digestion. Also, salting your food helps with digestion, like I mentioned already. Then you can even use like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar right before your meals. That will also increase that acidity in your stomach to help digest food better. He recommends blood testing so that you can actually know what your health is at, because there's no really other way to know, like if you have too low vitamin D levels or something, and really just like a blood test for testosterone levels or so forth. And what else should I mention? Of course, this book is interesting because kind of like, actually this book is like for like people who want to lose weight. It's written mostly for them. There is samples also. There's in the end there's sample recipes, sample meal plans. It goes up to 4,500 calorie meal plans in the end, which I think I'm gonna try. But yeah, it's mostly actually for people who want to lose weight. There's like pretty basic stuff. Also, he goes over like move more and eat less and these kind of things that you need to figure out how to move more. Of course, Dan Efferding's one of his main things is like this 10-minute walks. He teaches like do at least 3 10-minute walks per day. So after each meal, each big meal, 3 times a day, go for a 10-minute walk. It will also help actually with digestion, and it helps you get some exercise and movement for the day. Yeah, so next things, should I mention anything else here? Your health, yeah, some basic stuff, calculating your macros, calories, everything. And yeah, of course he's big also on chicken stock, like bone broth and everything for their nutrient value and for digestion. And yeah, I think that's it. That's the main things. Definitely gonna put this into practice. I just need to get some cranberry juice and a whole lot of oranges and everything like that. And also that's chicken stock and bone broth I haven't been really using normally in my diet. Obviously I've been eating like potatoes, sweet potatoes, but I'll try to eliminate some of those things from my diet, like pasta and those things that tend to irritate the stomach. Even oats I'll start to eat less, or I will probably skip oats altogether. Just include these foods that he has in the diet and start being more concentrated with getting sodium and potassium and everything. I'll see how this is gonna go. Next week I'm gonna start with a powerlifting coach actually, so this is gonna be really interesting, combining the vertical diet with my new powerlifting program, and I'm probably gonna set some new personal records. So thanks for watching everybody. Hopefully this helps. Like this video if you did find this valuable, and subscribe for more book summaries, and talk to you guys soon.